Good morning, everybody. Oh, let me just do it so I can hear myself. Hello, everybody. Good morning, Josh. Absolutely, go ahead and lurk. Fun fact, if you type !lurk in my chat, I do have a custom bot command. So have fun with that. I think it also works if you do !sleep and !roost. So that should be fun. We are going to be playing, hang on, we'll go into our Just Chatting stream. We're going to be playing Planet Zoo today, which I'm very excited about. Not sure why I've gotten the Planet Zoo bug again. It kind of comes in waves. It's a bit like The Sims with me in that respect. However, with everything going on with The Sims at the moment, a lot of the YouTubers and streamers that I watch that did Sims content are now pivoting to other sort of simulation games. And one of them, James Turner, is starting a new Planet Zoo Let's Play over on YouTube. So I've been watching that, and I want to make a zoo again. I'm not entirely sure what kind of zoo I'm going to want to make. It's... yeah, an odd one. Let me just check if everything's working okay. Ooh. Is my camera not working? Hang on, that's working. Why is Just Chatting not working? Okay, well, let's go into gameplay, if that's not gonna want to play ball. But yes, I've done a few little Planet Zoo zoos. The one I got most invested in was a zoo called Stonefall Woods Zoo, where I was really inspired by places in the UK like the Wildwood projects. So these are like tiny little zoos which mostly have quote-unquote native animals. So things like wolves, things like bears, things that would be native to the UK had we not, persecuted them and hunted them to extinction. But they also have like Arctic foxes, wild cats, otters, although they've got Asian short-clawed otters, which aren't the ones that would be native in the UK. But it's the thought that counts. So it was a zoo that was inspired by that. So we had things like foxes, we had raccoons, we had a deer walk through, we had a zoo cart, like a little zoo cart track that went through a wolf enclosure, which I was really proud of. And I really like playing with sort of niche animals like that. So I don't know what kind of theme I want to go for with this one, because I don't really want to do just the same thing, and I don't really want to just do classic zoo. So I will be open to suggestions if anyone has suggestions for things. I guess the first thing that we need to decide is which biome. We're going to be playing in Sandbox because I've never tried any of the other modes, and I don't particularly want to on stream. However, I will be turning on research, because I've been watching a couple of Planet Zoo series, and I do find that it's more engaging when I put an animal in, and then you have to research how to make that animal happy rather than just being able to do it straight away. So I think that that's going to be fun to play with. We're not going to be playing with money because when I have the option to not play with money in a simulation game, I would rather take that. Mostly because I like to decorate and I like to make things look pretty. And in games like this, that does cost money. So I don't want to be having to worry about that. We do have a few scenarios here. I've never played any of the scenarios, and that might be fun in future. To be honest, this is just a tester stream to see whether Planet Zoo will work as a stream game, because it is one of those games that's slightly more resource intensive on my computer. And, it's like Sea of Thieves. I can't stream Sea of Thieves at the moment because my hardware is just not up to code, essentially. But if Planet Zoo works, then maybe I can look into streaming The Sims at some point. I'd really like to stream The Sims, but The Sims is in a bit of a hellhole at the moment, so we're not going to dwell on that. We're just going to create a new zoo. Normally I go for temperate. I have done tiger before. Maybe we go for like a tropical theme, because for those who don't know, in my real world job, I work in zoos. I have done for the last 4 years. I have a zoology degree. I work with animals. And at the moment, the animals that I'm working with are very South American rainforest based. So it might be quite fun to sort of go for a tropical vibe. I'm going to go with tropical. Let's go for South America. And then we can like change that around and do different things. I'll be honest, I don't know if we're actually going to get to any animals today, because what I like to do in this game is I like to make custom entrances. We're going to go for a sculpted terrain. We're going to do easy difficulty, because this is just a tester. And we're going to call this the TCZS. Being the Tavern Crawlers Zoological Society. Hello, Stephen. I hope you have a lovely breakfast. Have a lovely time. Eat all the toast for me. And I will be hopefully here when you get back. There is no obligation to lurk if you are out doing things, by the way, guys. I'm more than happy for you guys to just say hi and then leave. But yes, there is exclamation mark lurk in the chat if you do want to stick around. Has a fun little stream elements thing. What are we going to call our zoo? So we've got the Tavern Crawler Zoological Society. Nice. Maybe I'll do like different ones for like roost and lurk and stuff. Names are like the hardest thing when starting things like this, because it doesn't really matter. But I like to imagine that this is an actual zoo. And zoos are usually named after where they are found. So, you know, San Diego Zoo, London Zoo, Whipsnade Zoo, Edinburgh Zoo, Bristol Zoo. They're all named. So we've got to figure out what's going to be the name of the nearest settlement, or ooh. Someone subscribed to me and I haven't had a notification. Hopefully that'll come up soon. Well, thank you for that, if it comes up. Right, let's stop beating around the bush. Let's just call this Bushland Zoo. So there we go. TCZS Bushland Zoo. Create. And now we're in a loading screen. Sandbox Zoo games are great. I'm very excited for Planet Zoo 2. I think there's a lot of things that I would like them to change. Well, not to change, to improve. So I was talking with Stephen about this last night. I really want them to improve habitat animals. There we go, that's come through. Thank you for the Prime sub, Stephen. That is very, very kind of you. We appreciate you a lot. For that, you can choose the first animal, if you would like, that we're going to build a habitat for. Habitat for. There's no stress to right now. Let me know when you're back. We will probably be doing entrance stuff for quite a while. And we are in. I like the entrance to every zoo flamingos. I think we can do that. We can... Oh, wow, this is... Okay, right. This is our zoo, then. I didn't realised Sculpted was going to be this big. Okay, cool. Right, so this is our entrance. You know what? Given the space, I think that works fine as an entrance. However, we can maybe... yeah, we can do some shops and some interesting things around here. And then... Oh, my guest needs are so bad. So, before we start anything, we are going to go into settings. We're going to go into sandbox. We're going to go into staff settings. And we're going to enable research. This is going to let us send our vets, that's the word, the vets, to research the different animals and let them figure out what kind of enrichment every animal needs, which I think is a nice little added level of complexity, and also makes it more engaging for me, because it means that instead of getting an animal in, doing the enclosure, and then just putting in all of the enrichment, and then I never go back to that animal again. This means that we can keep going back, we can enjoy those animals for a little while longer. So we're going to apply, we're going to hit OK. And again, we're not going to be playing with money because I want to have fun. Let's have a little scope around of the lay of the land. This is... yeah, this is not what I was expecting, but we'll make it work. I like that there is a little valley down here. Okay, so that's like the edge there. I mean, I'll be honest, if you're coming to a zoo that is this high up in the mountains, that's some dedication. Okay, so there's our outer bounds. So it really is just this big mountain ridge here. I think we can get away with maybe bringing some terrain up on either side. And maybe we'll have like one themed area here and then one themed area here. Maybe like more tropical jungle one side and like a more mountainous, alpine, mountain range, rocky kind of theming on that side. And then maybe we'll do like a little cave to go between them, and then we can put like a bat walkthrough in there or something. Right. So, we're going to play in pause for a little bit here, just while we get the first few things in. Because again, we're not playing with money. We don't need to wait for money to be a thing. So let's start with a path. It really goes to show how big the scale of this is when this is a path. So I think we've actually got quite a lot of space to work with here. Could go with sort of an ornate path. How fancy do we want this? Oh, I quite like that. That's quite nice. Let's start with this. We'll just keep that going as far back as possible. Oh. There we go. So that's a little zoo entrance. Normally, what I will do, if I'm building like a... where is it? Guest facilities. If I'm building something from scratch, I will... zoo entrance. I will put down... I don't have it at the moment because it's a research thing, but there is a bus that you can get that will spawn visitors like the little visitor spawner back there, and I will put that down in sort of a little car park just to add that sort of level of realism, and then I will make a big zoo entrance where the guests will go through and get their tickets from the little ticket machine. But because we're up in the mountains, we're gonna pretend that there is a car park down here and people have gone into an elevator and come up here. Right, let's actually start playing the game, shall we? So what we want is we're going to get an information kiosk. And we will just pop it down here for now. Ooh. Ooh. There we go. We'll just pop that down there. And what else do we want? We probably want... like some sort of drinks thing. We'll get a soda, and then maybe like Bernie's bake. So yeah, people are probably coming here first thing in the morning. They'll want like they'll want like pastries and stuff and breakfast things. So we'll get those down there, and then we will add a little path. I think what might be quite nice is if we bring this out and then we make a little plaza here, and then we can sort of have the path go down this way and then have the flamingos here. Because this isn't going to be in shadow all day, that's just what it looks like right now. And then we can have sort of like a little guest seating area whilst they look at the flamingos, and then we can sort of build a big building that they walk through. I'm very inspired by Paynton Zoo down in Devon, and what they have is you can see the flamingos before you go into the zoo. And we're going to make an homage to that, if you will, and just sort of pretend that the building that we're going to build is where you get your tickets from. Right. That's probably fine for now. And then we go through we'll bring them down this way, and then we'll have maybe like a proper plaza, and then we can go from there. Right, let's... Can I move you? I can move you. Right, we will... What we want is the information kiosk. Is this the information kiosk? That is the information kiosk. So we'll have information there. And then we'll have the toilets next to the information. And then we'll have our bakes and our... we'll have our food on this side. Paths. That works. So how's everybody doing today? I know we've got some lurkers in chat, and that's absolutely fine. But it is a Saturday morning, which is great. So yeah, how's everybody doing? It's been a little bit of a long week for me, but the week is over. Well, for me, it's not over. So I've said this before. My week runs from Sunday to Thursday. So today is my Sunday, basically. So what a nice way to start the last day of my weekend. What I might do, actually, is I might delete the middle bit there. Go into paths. Oops. Not like that. Not like that. Okay. This is fine. Right, let's just get rid of that then. And then... Okay, I think I might need to redo all of this. That's okay. What I want is to make like a nice central area where we can put some plants and have it look nice and pretty. So let's go back to our cracked stone. So if we do this, and then deselect grid, and then join that up, join those up, join those up. Better pathing mechanics is one thing I want from Planet Zoo 2. Like, definitely. But yeah, as I was saying before, I want them to have better exhibit animals. Because at the moment, this game... Come on. You know, that's fine. We can cover that up with some benches and some lighting. This game, at the moment, you have your exhibit animals. Yeah, better pathing tools required for Planet Zoo 2. In the same way that Planet Coaster 2 had better tools. But at the moment, this game has exhibit animals, which are... like the little glass boxes, like your insects and your amphibians and your reptiles. And then you have your habitat animals, which are the big ones where you build the habitat and you like fully customize them. I want them to have better exhibits because I think that it would be really nice to have things like mice, things like... can we just do it around the middle? No, okay, we're just going to fence in this whole pathway. Because I work with a lot of small animals. Can I not do it on that one? Oh, that's weird. And there is a erroneous path there. There we go. Can I delete that and start again? Yes. Simple answer, yes. And I think it would be really cool to have little rodents and bigger rodents. They don't need that much space, but it would add so much to the variety of the animals that you can keep. And then the other like big thing for exhibits that you could do, fish, small birds. I want birds in this game, and I want fish, and I want more interesting things that aren't just mammals. Right, let's get us some trees. So I've been watching a lobster claw tree. Cool. That's a little, is that too big? That one's more the size I was thinking. Yeah, that's nice. And then like that tree can be like the symbol for the park, like the little logo. Yeah, I've been watching a series where everything is done super realistically, and there's a lot of like make-believe that's happening to justify it. And I think that's really cool, and I like that. But it's also not how I would choose to play this game. Right. We've got some trees down. This is very bare bones. We will come back and touch this up in a little while. Maybe we'll put like a little building there and make this sort of feel like a little town centre. I think we need to get our staff area in. And I think if we sort of have the flamingos here, we can hide the staff area back here. So let's go back into our paths. Let's get a staff path. And which colour do we want to use? What's going to blend best? Okay, that doesn't look too bad. What about the green? I think I'm going to go with this one for now. And actually, maybe we'll move this tree. Move it to here. And then we can have the staff path come off this corner and hide it around the back. There we go. There we go. And then we'll have the little staff plaza here. We do align to grid. No, that's not the grid I want to use. Can we... Go fully in this corner, and then, yeah, there we go. And then we'll clear out this area a little bit, I think. Where's my terrain tools? Oh, cool. I didn't realise that some of these textures look different in the different biomes. Right, let's push this rock back just a little. So yeah, the creator that I was watching would limit himself on the... Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. So he would have to like make the plants that he was using suit the animals, but also suit the biome that his zoo was in, which I thought was really interesting. And would require a lot of research that I don't think I would be capable of doing myself, or would want to do myself. However, super interesting to watch. He's called Paws Build on YouTube, like paws as in animal paws. And it's his eco zoo that he's building. So yeah, go and check it out, because it's... I've watched 3 episodes yesterday, and it is really fun. I'm not very good with these sorts of terrain tools. It's the same in The Sims. I'm just not great with them. But I find it especially difficult in this game. Okay, so we need a keeper hut. We'll put the keeper hut there. We need a trade centre. We'll put that there. We do need a veterinary surgery. I think we just want to... If we put the bigger buildings backing on... that's not going to work. We need to make this path longer. Do, 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 do. The music in this game is just so good. I remember when Planet Coaster first came out, and I watched a review that said that the music sounded like it was made for like an indie like an indie music festival, or rather in an indie film festival, and I thought that was quite funny. Facilities, we're just going to get one of everything, because we need one of everything, and we'll come back and we'll pretty this up later. We need a research centre, and we need a staff room. We've got a workshop, so we have animal trade centre, we have a keeper hut, we have a veterinary surgery, we have a workshop, we have quarantine, we have research, and we have staff room. So let's extend that path out even further. And just make sure that these are aligned with it so they can actually access them. Why is that not working? Is that a terrain thing? Do 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 do. Okay, well, maybe we will put this, if we delete that end bit of path, maybe we'll see if we can join that up there. It feels like such a long way, but we'll make that work. We'll make that work. Can we move this so it's... No, because it's on a grid. Okay, well, the staff room is there. Maybe we can add a path going around that way that makes that more justifiable. So, what we want to do now is staff, work zones. What we want to do is we want to add a work zone. So all of this is going to be called the entrance. So all of these shops, all of this, and any of the exhibits and animals that we put in this general area, they're all going to be called the entrance zone. So we're just going to set that up. New work zone. And we're going to call this entrance. And we're going to select all of these buildings. All of that, and we'll do the entrance as well. That didn't save. Why didn't that save? So you can set these up to overlap. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up into sections that work in a similar way to the... So there we go, we've got entrance zone. And then these we're going to assign to the entrance zone. So these are the staff that we've have been spawned in to serve these. So we're just going to press play and let them go and do their thing. I hope they respawn. Yep, there they are. Off they go to work on their respective shops. Well, you're just going to phase through the pathway there. Okay, you do that. I did not know that's how they got in and out. I assumed they would just do like a phase thing. Maybe I've been playing too much Pokemon where they really don't care about adding little animations like that. So yeah, facility is without power. So the next thing we need to do is we need to add power. And I think what we can do is if we rough out where we want these flamingos to be. So maybe we'll put a little power thing here. So facilities, utilities, we've got transformers, we've got water temperature regulator and water treatment. We're just going to pop all of these down. And because this is a staff path, the visitors shouldn't be able to get here. Good morning, Ben. Welcome on into stream. How are you doing today? Did you sleep well? Go. So these have very low appeal, which means if visitors can see these, they're going to leave bad reviews, which is hilarious because that's not how it works in the real world. But it is quite funny. So we will eventually board this up, but I think putting a nice animal exhibit in here and some building around the little entranceway, I think will go a long way to hiding that from all the visitors that we don't have yet. These I should also add to work zones. Staff work zone. Work zone. Edit work zone. And we'll add those in. So, we also should probably want to get some staff. So, we're going to want to hire a caretaker. We'll just drop them down. We're definitely going to want to hire a keeper. They're very important. And a vet. They're very important. And a mechanic. They're quite important. We'll just let them play. And we need to go and assign them to entrance zone as well. Queen Shihan is our vet. Love that for you, Queen. I know there's no habitat for you to service. It's fine. We're working on it. We're working on it. You got a bit of a headache, but it's likely dehydration. Well, that is a sign for you to go and drink lots of water, bud. And I hope it passes soon. And painkillers are your friend if it doesn't go quickly enough. Right, I think we've dilly-dallied enough. Let's mark out our flamingos. So I want to go into the Zoopedia, and I want to see which kind of flamingos that we have. We have American flamingo. Perfect. So where are these found? Also known as the Caribbean flamingo, Southern USA, Central America, and the Caribbean. So not quite South America, but I think it's close enough that we can make that work for us. And what do you want to live in? So group size is 20 to 500, so we need to get quite a lot of these, otherwise they're going to be unhappy. But that's okay, because what we'll do is we'll just go into the animal trading and we will buy all of them. And we'll buy all of them. No dominance, they are monogamous, and they're gregarious, they have a neutral relationship with humans, and people can enter the habitat. So maybe what we'll do is we'll do a main bit of habitat here, and then maybe once they've gone through the little building that we're going to put in here, they can go through a little walk-through part of it. But it's mostly viewing from this side, I think. So, go back to Zoopedia. How much space do you need? And we'll go for a 20 minimum. So you need... We'll call that 500 square meters. So we're looking at... Yeah, 500 would give us 24. Oh, there are parts of South America, so we'll make that work. And you need grade 1, higher than 1 meter. You need water. It doesn't need to be deep, and you don't need any climbing. So let's have a look at our barriers. I think for this one, we will start with a hedge. I think that'll be fine. And actually, I'm going to move this one again and put that behind the house for now. I like the tamarind trees, but I definitely want this to be like a big viewing area, to the point where actually I might add more pathway. I told you guys we're going to start on entrance stuff. Can you... You going to align to the grid at all? Okay. Align to grid. Never mind. We're going to leave it how it was. And we're just gonna go in and we're gonna start a habitat. Okay? We're just gonna start. And there. I'm gonna turn off angle snapping just for the moment, because I want to get this right. I find with this game that it is very, very easy to make habitats that are just so much bigger than they need to be. For example, I made a habitat last night that was for raccoons. They didn't need a huge amount. Where's the curve? There it is. They didn't need a huge amount of space. But for some reason, I gave them a habitat that was like 1,000 meters squared. And they didn't need that. And I do think this game could do with having just some way of showing you how big your habitat's going to be before you close it. Because you also can't see how big a habitat is until you've got a gate in, which I think is really weird. We want this to be as straight as possible. And then we don't actually want it coming, because we want like a little viewing area here. So actually I'm going to undo that. And we're going to go around like this, and then we're going to go straight. And then I think we're going to curve in, and then curve back out again. And then we'll straighten up, and we'll close that. And I actually don't like that at all. So we're going to do that. That is quite nice. Right, let's get a habitat gate in here. We'll do that. Oh, I'm sorry, buddy, but we don't buy viewers here. We're actually quite happy not doing that. So thank you for coming in and getting my bot of the day done with. Oh. Okay. How big is this habitat? There we go. Almost 600 square meters, which is perfect because that now means that we can expand if we want to. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go back into barriers. We're going to select this barrier, and we are going to Can I not add glass to this? I guess because it's a... Yeah, I guess because it's a hedge, huh? Right, let's drag that down. Is that 1 meter yet? That is a meter, okay. Because it just needs to be above a meter. So maybe if we do... Can I do... take off height snap. Or at least put height snap down to like 10 centimeters. There we go. Because we want people to be able to see our flamingos. And it would be sad if they couldn't. We'll keep it tall around the back because it doesn't need to be... They don't need to be seen by staff. In fact, this one I'm actually going to keep raised. Sure, why not? Actually, let's do like a halfway. And that's like a gradual increase. Cute. And then this will also be lowered because I'm imagining like a little viewing station in here. Have I made this all 1 instead of 115? I have. There we go. So I found with Planet Zoo, not a lot of it is zoo stuff. Like, yes, you can make animal enclosures, but you don't actually do much with the animals. I think it would be fun to be able to set up, like, enrichment programs, like, properly set up, like, more than just, like, designing an enclosure. Like, setting up training programs would be really cool. And then this one we will do a halfway as well. Okay, cool. And then how much water did they need? Ooh, voice crack. How much water did they need? So they need at least... If we're going to go for our group of 20, they need a good chunk of this to be water. So what I'm thinking is if we have most of this be a pond, and then we'll have some solid land at the back, but then we'll do little islands. I think that would be cute. So we'll do push, we'll turn down the intensity, we'll do scenery lock, we'll turn down the size. because this is how the one at Paynton Zoo works, which again is what I'm pulling most of my references from in terms of flamingo enclosures, because I did really like that the last time we went. Good morning, Shep. Good morning, Molly. Nice to see you. How are you doing today? And yeah, I think they've got like a really nice enclosure. They've got like plants along the back. They've got little islands, and then the flamingos were using those islands to rear their babies, and there were babies last time we went. It was very cute. Right. And then the scenery lock means that we can put some plants around the edge. If we go into water. Morning, just woke up. Heading into London today. Oh, that's exciting. Are you in London for anything in particular? Water area 340. Yeah, we're absolutely fine. Average water depth 0 centimetres. Well, I don't think it's 0 centimetres. It's not deep by any means, but these guys don't need deep water. Okay, let's remove that. I do want to dig into this corner a little bit more. I'm good, thank you. Having a fun time. Digging into this game. I'm pleasantly surprised that this works on stream, because I thought my computer was going to melt. So we're starting out. This is the terrain that I've been given to work with. So it's interesting. But we're going to have a good time. Going to a concert / festival / gig thing. Well, that's awesome. I hope you have a lovely time. And then I do actually want this to be like a big thing at the back. We'll do a flattened foundation and just level that out a little bit. And then we want to have islands in here. So I'm going to bring the size all the way down. Peru Mountain Zoo. Basically, yeah, we're in South America. We're in a tropical biome. I chose sculpted thinking it would give me some fun hills to work with. And instead I'm in Machu Picchu. But I think it's great. It's fun. So we'll do like a little island here, I think. I'm going to bring the intensity up just a little bit. Oh, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. Oh. Ah, yes. It looks like you've been banned for using capitals. Sorry about that. That is an auto mod thing from Stream Elements. Sorry. Little island. I'm just gonna hit this all with some terrain paint, because I don't like. Yeah, Stream Elements doesn't like it when you do lots of capitals. But I'm glad you're back. Machu Picchu Zoo. That is a good name. Our zoo is actually called... What are we called? We are called the TCZS Bushland Zoo. Because I named it before I knew that we were going to be up in the mountains. TCZS being the Tavern Crawler Zoological Society. Because, you know, we were going to be a charity. No capitals this time. Good. The flamingos want a duck. What do you mean, Stephen? What do you mean they want a duck? Like a rubber duck? Or like a duck? Oh, where am I? There we go. So we've got one island there. And then maybe we'll do like a little island here. We'll flatten that out a little bit of a bigger island. And is this gonna still give me the amount of water that I need? Okay, that other one is not an island. Can I do this? Gotta put a lawn flamingo in their enclosure for some uncanny valley. Oh yeah, of course. Enrichment. That one's still not an island. I don't want it to be too big is the only thing. Yeah, that's the issue. It's taking away a lot of water in that corner. Okay, so maybe we push. Maybe we turn off scenery lock just for a little bit. We turn that down. And we just chisel this away. TwitchCon was great. TwitchCon was really fun. Like the LARP panel was good. There were some obviously security things which I'm sure people have seen about online, which weren't great. I should probably bring that up a little bit because they are wading animals and they probably don't want to be swimming. And there were some accessibility things and organization wasn't great, but we had a good time, I think is how I will summarize it. And San Diego was lovely. I would love to go back. The zoo there is incredible. And we went to Disney, which was really fun. EU was better, yeah. I will agree with Stephen there. EU was a lot better. But we got to meet some cool people. And the panel went well. Yay, I have islands. They're not big islands, but they are fine. I'm sure the flamingos will love them. And we've still got a decent amount of... How has that gone down so much? We've still got a decent amount of water. I will see if I can slope this back area a little bit more. Give them more sort of a... Can I... No, that's not really doing what I want it to do. We'll just hit it with a smooth brush. Because, you know, they want to be able to get down into the water. And they don't want it to be, like... We want our flamingos to not have to jump into a swimming pool every time they want to go and eat. Right, we can probably unpause for a little while. What I'm going to do is vet research. Let's get some flamingos in our trading center. You can see what I was building last night. Right. Flamingo. American flamingo. We've got Teo, we've got Sergio, we've got Belicia, and we've got Miranda. Their genetic... Oh, that... His fertility is not good. He's not going to be having many babies. You're alright. You're quite good. I mean, we're going to get all of them. Because... That's... We need to have a big group. And can I now... Okay. I don't think I can research them until they're in the enclosure. So let's get some water in here. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Mims is asking how much water is ideal for flamingos. So, we have our handy Zoopedia here. And it lets you check things like land and water requirements. So you can see they need... This is for 1, so they need 125 meters squared. And would you recommend this game? I would. Obviously, depending on whether you want to wait for the sequel that's coming out at some point. You know, you can either get this now or wait for the sequel. But we don't know much about the sequel. But if you like animals and you like simulation games, and you also like the creative sandboxy style gameplay. I'd recommend it. It's a bit of a learning curve to begin with. There are scenarios and there are tutorials. But I have a lot of fun with it. It's like The Sims, where I will go through phases with it, definitely. So yeah, you can see this is the land requirements, this is the climbing requirements, so flamingos don't need to climb, but they do need water. This is how much water they need, and then this is the water depth. So if you're making a habitat for something like a polar bear, they would need greater depth because they actually go swimming. These guys just paddle, so they don't need deep water. And then you can toggle how many adults you've got. So we want a group of 20, ideally. So this is how much water we would need, this is how much land we would need, and then you can add juveniles there. Right, where are animal trading? We've got more. Okay, so we've got Emilia, we've got Imelda, we've got... I'm pretty sure we adopted you. Where's our trade centre? That's a veterinary centre. Trade centre, open animal storage. We are going to send all of these to quarantine, just to make sure that none of them have any like horrible, nasty diseases or anything. I am slightly worried that we are going to be making our flamingos live in shadow. Mim says, thank you. You're welcome. And what animals are there? So, there's a lot. There's also loads of DLC. I don't know if there are Hyraxes. There are some definitely gaps that they have not filled. But we can... Hyrax. Doesn't look like there are Hyraxes, unfortunately. But there are a lot of other things. So, these are all of the exhibit animals. So these are all the ones that you make detailed enclosures for. And then you've also got like the habitat animals, which are the insects, the creepy crawlies, the reptiles, the amphibians. You can also do walkthroughs for things like bats, which I think is fun. The newer pack has Hyrax. Oh, that's awesome. 3D modelling a mod. Yeah, honestly, there's so much in this game that I wish I could... I would mod stuff in a heartbeat if I could. Right. Habitat. So... I don't know what these guys need. What do these guys need? So we can, like... Oh, diseased animal. Who's diseased? Is it all of you? Oh, it was Miranda. Miranda is diseased. We're going to move Sergio in, though, because then I can start tailoring the exhibit to be exactly what they need. Because you need an animal in the exhibit to be able to, like, put in the plants that they like and put in their food and their enrichment. And we will... Belicia and Teo. Not Miranda, I know. But that's why quarantine's important. Right, are we ready, guys? Flamingo! Hello, Sergio. So if you click on them, you can, like, go into a cinematic camera and just follow them around. Oh. Thank you for the follow. I do appreciate it. Oh, I think I might have made this too deep for them. Oops. I guess they can swim. Well, maybe we'll make this area in the middle more shallow. I'm sorry, Sergio. Oh, and Belicia's here, and Teo's here as well. Look at them all. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna take away your water. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You can mod in Hyrax, but they were never added. Maybe in Planet Zoo 2. Yeah, I would like to see them make some... Just add some different animals. Because... Okay, I know that, like... The big animals are the popular ones. Pause. We're just going to pause that so our flamingos don't get really unhappy with us for taking away their water. But there's a lot of hoof stocky type of animals in this game, and there's a lot of like big animals, like big cats, and I know they're the ones that bring in the money. They're the charismatic ones. They're the ones that people like to see. However, because of the animals that I work with, they're not the ones I'm interested in. I like the little things, like the small monkeys. There are basically no small monkeys in this game. There are white-faced Saki monkeys, which are great, but they were in a DLC. There's capuchin monkeys, and I genuinely think that might be it. I don't know if there are other small monkeys. Like, there's no tamarins, and, like, golden-headed lion tamarins are really endangered, and so you'd think that they'd want to, like, bring those in. Mim says more small brown animals. Yes, more small brown animals. And this leads back to what I was saying about the habitat animals earlier, like the little exhibit animals, because you could make, if they made it so that you could make the little habitat boxes, basically glass boxes that you can put down. If they made it so you could tie all those together and have it so that the animals can move from one to the other, and gave them a little bit more focus and a little bit more attention, I genuinely think that we could see a lot more interesting small animals. Because, you don't want to make a full big exhibit like this for golden lion tamarins. Yeah, but you could easily put them in a little exhibit box. And I think that would be really cool. Okay, that's still quite deep in areas, but it's a lot more shallow in others. How are you feeling about that, boys and girls? Is that better? There's groundhogs, capybara, all manner of small things. Yeah, like, there's definitely some small stuff in this game. I am, unfortunately, just the kind of person and the kind of animal person where I want more. I just want more animals in this game. Should we check on Miranda? How's Miranda doing? Miranda's ready to go! Let's get Miranda in here too. She can make friends with all the others. Tapir are good. We like tapir. I think one of the things I'd like to do in this little zoo that we're working on is, I think it would be quite cool to do a big, like a big mixed species with capir and capybara. Are there any pigs / types of pigs? There might be Red River hogs. Pig. Nope. Hog. There's a warthog. Do we have Red River hogs? Red deer, red-eyed tree frog. There's peccaries. I don't know if there's any others. There are pigs. Okay, cool. Just gonna pull this up some more. I fear I made this far too deep. I know there are better terrain stuff for doing pools like this. I just don't know how to do that yet. Warthogs are good. We like warthogs. My mum's really big into wild pig species. And she loves the warthogs. Ooh, we've got floating flamingos. Because I dared to do their water whilst they were still in there. That's actually really good reference. Just stay there. Like, I would love to have, and this is very, very specific and very prevalent for me. But yeah, I want to see things like Sengi in this game, because a Sengi would be perfect in a little exhibit, because that is essentially what they live in zoos, currently. Are you going to freak out? Yeah, we're going to box you. Okay, I think that's better for water. And here comes Miranda, just in time. I do think these guys are going to be cursed to live in perpetual shadow. But that's fine. Thank you. I also want aquariums and aviaries. They've got some swimming space. They've definitely got some space where it's more wading. So let's see what these guys want. Their social group is not good. So let's buy some more flamingos. And we're just going to send all of our animal. We're just going to basically buy all the flamingos that we can have. We're just going to buy all of them because, again, we're going to... Okay. I'll put those in quarantine. Because, again, these guys want to live in groups of upwards of 20. Yeah, RIP your wallet. Thankfully, the DLC does go on sale quite a lot. Which is nice, especially when they add new stuff. You can easily pick up the expansions for like a few quid each, which is really good. Right. I've noticed that we've run out of pre-roll ad times. I'm going to run a 3-minute ad break. If you're subscribed, stick around, obviously. But we are going to pause the game and we'll just have a little ad break and not do anything until everyone's back. So see you in 3 minutes. Ooh. Well, I did that. my Twitch just refreshed. I don't know why I did that. Right. Now we'll do a 3-minute ad break. Sometimes my mouse will... I'll click in a certain way and it will basically take me to the previous page. And it's really weird and I don't understand why it does it. But look at our flamingos, they're so happy. In fact, we won't do anything more with the habitat, but I might just get some lamp posts around because I feel like that's probably important. Animal exhibits, no. Guest facilities, staff facilities, utilities. Is it in construction? Yes, it's in construction. Large candle. Planet Zoo streetlight. Okay, this is going to have to do. Let's do that. So with research turned on as well, it means that all of the themed stuff we have to research, which also adds a little thing. So it means that once I've unlocked things like the South American style, which I do want to unlock, and will probably be one of the first things that we tell our mechanic to research, it means that I won't get distracted by all of the other themed stuff, which is good. Right, I think that's enough of those. In fact, we might do that now. Right, so we can set Queen to research. We'll do that. And then we can... Enrique! Perfect! We can... So we've got conservation theme. That might be a good one to research at some point as well. Europe theme, Fiesta theme, habitats, India theme, New World theme, Oceania theme, South America theme. We will do that first. The initial setup of a new Virgin Media Hub takes a long time. Glad I'm doing it now so I have time to get it sorted before my stream. Yeah, I had that with mine. Why is long stared out? What? I don't understand that, Josh, but please feel free to explain. Twilight theme. Yeah, mine took... I had to book it in. I think I booked it in about 2 weeks in advance. And those 2 weeks were probably the longest weeks of my life. Returned from war! Yay! Welcome back! We've put in some lights and we have told our vet to research flamingos, and we've told our mechanic to research the South America decor theme so we can start making our things look pretty soon. Back as well. Hello, welcome back, folks. So, we have our flamingos. We have 4 more in quarantine. Habitat has no keepers assigned. Well, we're going to call this Flamingo Lake. Flaminog Lake. There we go. Flamingo Lake. And we do actually need to add this to our work zone. So, if we go into staff, we go into work zones, edit work zone. And then that is part of the work zone, which means the keeper who is there, Flaminog, yes, it means that they will now service this enclosure. So, the next thing we need to do is we need to figure out what these guys actually want. Quarantine has passed, awesome. So they need a lot more enrichment. There's no enrichment for them here. They need more social, which will be... words will be helping once we get some more flamingos in, but we need at least 20. Have you guys been watching CR4? I have not, unfortunately. I've not really been into it as much. I don't know if I will. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of actual plays at the moment. I just don't really... I don't really have the time to sit down and watch them. But I might in future. Who knows? Are you watching it? Are you enjoying it? It's good. Me and Mims have been trying to keep up to date, but holy lore, Doc, there's a lot to understand. Yeah. Because it's kind of almost entirely new, isn't it? Or at least they're doing it very differently to how the last 3 campaigns, from my understanding. Belicia has arrived in the zoo. We're gonna have a lot of flamingos in here. Like this is the flamingo enclosure with a handful. We're going for 20 in this zoo. It's gotten very dark all of a sudden. Today is Hermitcraft Season 11, which I am very excited for. Okay, so we got... Okay, I think this is the last flamingo coming in. And then this is the vet here. That's Queen. And she's coming in. She's taking notes. She's going back to her research lab. And she is going to come up with all the different things that we can give these guys to make them happy. So let's pause. I have to dip to grab our train. It was nice chatting you all. Thank you for coming and hanging out. I miss you guys as well. And yeah, have a lovely time. Enjoy the concert gig performance thing. And have fun in London. I'll talk to you soon, definitely. Right, so the social's gone up, which is good. Too few adults and juveniles in animal social groups. So that we're just going to keep buying all the flamingos. All of the flamingos. Oh, Carlotta, you're mine. Honorata. Agapito, you're mine now. And Matthias, you are mine now. Please do, yes. So that's something that we're working on. Enrichment is something that we are researching. And now we need to add shelter. So these guys need hard shelter. Their terrain is good. They could do with some more water. And they could do with some more land, actually. So what we might do is we might extend this habitat that way a little bit. Just so we can have a little bit more space for them. So let's do that now. Can I... There we go. It's always weird in this game when the background music stops, because I don't really notice that the background music is there until it isn't. It's not my best work in terms of straight lines and enclosures, but we will make do. And then this we can... You're about to remove a section of barrier belonging to the Flamingo Lake habitat. This will invalidate the habitat and all the animals inside will escape. Do you want to proceed? Yes. Yes, because I've already thought of that. There we go. And also we are paused. If you try exclamation mark lurk, that might work better. I don't know if it's... I can't remember if I set it up as roost. Perch, that was it. Well done. Right, we need to get rid of this water. Enjoy your perching, Josh. It's nice to have you here. And then... I believe it is perch, not roost. There we go, you got it. I hope you guys are enjoying your breakfast. It is much appreciated that you're here, but breakfast is also very important, so I hope you are having a good time. Right, let's get some water back in here. There we go. Not napping, I'm heading for breakfast. Yes. I hope you enjoy your breakfast. Trading post, nice. Next time we go to the trading post, I want to try having their black pearl coffee without any syrup, because I want to know what it tastes like without syrup. I think that would be fun. I'm in my coffee snob era, and I am curious. That being said, I did have syrup in my coffee this morning. But that is because the grind of coffee that I have at home, the beans, are not the most interesting. However, I do have a coffee advent calendar that I am very excited for. I'm very excited for it. I've never been like a snob about beans before. My first job was a 2-month stint as a barista in Costa, so I've always been a bit of a snob in terms of I don't really like instant coffee, but I've never liked coffee without syrup before, but I'm getting there. I have a V60 brewer now, which is like a little triangular cone cup thing, which is very nice, and I have a lot of fancy coffee to have next month, and I'm very excited for it. Right, I think that is better land. I'm just going to let these guys reset. The annoying thing about this game, and I will be totally transparent here, is that you can't set up the enclosure for them until they are in the enclosure. So, which just seems backwards to me. No, working with animals, we set up, the amount of land, amount of the enclosures we set up before the animals get here. And in this game, you set them up after they get here. And I find it weird. Right, they still need more land. And they could do with a touch less water. I'm starting to think we won't have enough space in this enclosure for 20 flamingos. Oh well, we'll do our best. There we go. That's good. That's good. And then we need less long grass, more rock. We can do that. We can do that. Why don't we do that along this side? Give them like a nice rocky shore. Get rid of all that nasty long grass, eh? Still too much long grass. Let's give them more soil then. Along the back wall, let's give them some soil. Vet research is complete! Yay! We've unlocked a research level for the American flamingo. So this means that we've unlocked level 2, which means we get food enrichment, we get a fun fact, and we get an education bonus. And if we do another one, we'll get breeding research, toy enrichment, and then if we do there's a lot of levels to this. So I think we're just going to keep our vet busy in researching. And I think we're just going to let Queen do her thing. Okay, all the terrain levels look fine now. They do need some sand, actually. So let's... That's the wrong tab. Let's get a little bit of coarse sand under the water here. And just coming up on the islands. And a little bit of coarse sand around here. And we'll do a little bit of the same around here. I still need less long grass. But I think we can... They basically want no long grass at all. Which we can do. We can do that. Hell yeah. More vet research is complete. So we've got 2 levels of research now. I think she's just going to keep doing it until we tell her to stop. Which is really good. Environment, they could do with some more trees and plants. And they need some enrichment. So if we go into habitat. We can go into food and water, because they do need food and water. Water trough. Underwater fish feeder. Oh, she's already pregnant. Or expecting offspring. Food cage. What was that? Oh. Hey, look who's here. So if you're friends with someone in this game, they can and oh, he's so excited to see the flamingos. He's so excited to see the flamingos. Okay, Stephen's visiting. There we go. He's not very well educated though. Oh, she's about to have offspring. Do not rickroll me, Josh. Do not. Where's your baby? I want to see your baby. Which does remind me, actually, we will come back to you. Because what I want to do is we're going to go to settings, we're going to go to sandbox, we're going to go to animal settings, and we're going to increase the aging rate. Because I don't want my animals dying. We can turn off death through aging. We can turn off animal death. I think for now we will just do aging. And while we're here, we're going to save this zoo. They're so goofy. Right, can I go into animals? Go into animals. Belicia, Sergio, Taya. Ah. Oh, look. That's their food. She's still researching. She's had her offspring. Look at the baby! Oh! Oh, look at the baby! It's so cute! Oh! His name is Jamie. That's adorable. Ooh. That's actually adorable. Bear with me, guys. I'm just gonna plug my mouse in because it feels like it is low on battery, and I don't want it to die whilst I'm trying to stream. Baby. There we go. We're plugged in now. They've had food, they've had a baby, and they do get some sunshine. Look at that. Right, let's pause again so they stop having babies whilst I'm trying to make their enclosure nice. And what they need is plants. So we can actually click on the plants and it'll give us options. So we've got some nice water lilies. Those might be quite nice. They don't need a huge amount of coverage, but I do want them to have some. We've got bromeliads, we've got buddleia. Why don't we get a few, like, just interesting pieces of scenery? So we'll get in, like, this tree trunk. Bring that up just a little. Do that. They also need shelter. I don't know what these guys would want for shelter, but I guess we can find that out. We'll give them... Why don't we give them a mangrove tree? Sure. They're not coastal animals, but Cordyline plant. That's cute. Century plants. Might be quite nice to have some trees in here. That's very tall. Why don't we have a little bit of a tree forest over here. That's very tall. Another coastal mangrove, perhaps. Just to give them some little privacy as well. And then one there. That's not really in the water. That should be in the water. It's a mangrove tree. Nature. They got an acai plum, banana palm, Brazil nut. Whoa! That's quite a big tree there. I don't think we need trees that big. We could get a couple coconut palms in though. That might be quite cute. And we'll get a different one in here. And what I really want is, yeah, stuff like this. Stuff we can put around the water. I want some rushes. I want some monkey face orchid. Sure. Lobster claw plant. Sure. Get flowering plants. Strangling figs. Got some more tamarind. Swiss cheese plant. That is a monstera. Swiss cheese plant. And so, yeah, if you click on the animals themselves, it will tell you if there's plants that they don't like. And actually, this is already too much coverage. So I might take out some of the trees. Because they don't really need trees. And we can replace those with grasses and rushes and plants that they're actually going to enjoy. We can also do some rock work. So why don't we just take out all of the plants? We'll take out the log as well, I think, because we can do better. So let's actually select all the things that we want to use over here. Tree fern. Vine tomato. Oh, it's got little tomatoes on it. Cute. Wimber tree. That's big. Yellow ipe, maybe. What kind of rocks do we want to use? I guess this kind of tropical brown rock is quite fun. Yeah, let's pop a few of these down. We've got tropical leaf litter. That could be quite good to use. We've got vines. Because remember, we're not built... These animals aren't... Like, they don't live in forests. So we don't want to give them loads of foresty things. But we also don't want to give them nothing. Well, I think a bush like that could be quite good. Maybe some rock work to give them an off-stage area so they can't be seen. Yeah, I think that's a very good idea. We'll give them some plants because as much as everything in there should be for the animals, you also want it to look nice for visitors. So we'll put in some banana palms. We'll definitely put in some of these lily pads, I think. Even though they're Amazon water lilies and not necessarily the plants that they would be living with in the wild, because these guys are from the Caribbean more than they're from South America. Okay, let's get some rock work in. So I think maybe we do a little rock wall here, and then they can kind of have an area back here where we'll put their shelter, and then we'll put another shelter around the back here, and then we just put loads of rushes around the water. I think that'll be good. So if we start with this, we sink that down a little. And bring that up a little. And then the thing with rock work in this game, and kind of anything in this game, really, is you can spend forever making it look the way you want it to. Kind of in a way that becomes not fun after a while as well, I found. Which I don't think is the fault of the game. It is definitely, like, just a thing with these kinds of games. But I do kind of wish there was a way that you could make good-looking habitats without it having to spend, like, 5 hours. And one of the suggestions that I've made to Stephen when we've been talking about this is having some sort of paintbrush where you can just sort of paint in plants from the habitat that you're trying to replicate. So I could set my parameters as South/Central America and tropical, and I could have all of the plants that are applicable, and I could set, you know, water plants, and I could paint water plants around the edge of the lake without having to individually place them. I think that would be a good way of doing that. Right, this is a small one. Basically just trying to create like a rock hide for them. Because this game says they need hard shelter. I also know that flamingos will make little nests out of mud. So they don't need shelter for nesting. They need shelter for hiding from the weather. Actually, we will put that one over here for now. I want to get rid of that, and I want to get rid of that. And then we can move this back up, because this is what I was looking for before. When you get down to it, this game is 90% rock placement sim. Yeah, it is. And I think Planet Coaster kind of has those vibes as well. There's a YouTuber that I've watched a fair amount called Nerdcubed, and he has done Planet Coaster series, and I don't know if he's ever done Planet Zoo, but Planet Coaster is like one of the games that he will sit and play on stream for hours, and 90% of that is him placing rocks and bushes and lights, to the point where it's not really Planet Coaster, it's Planet Bush and Light Simulator. And the thing is, there is definitely scope for that. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing at all. But it is something that you have to take into consideration. We'll put, like, put some bedding in there. And we'll put some grass bedding in there, because then they can't be seen in that area at all, and I think that's quite nice for them. And we should probably put some more rocks elsewhere, so that it's not just there. I mean, it blends in quite nicely with the soil texture, so why don't we put some rocks around the islands to sort of blend that in with the terrain a little bit more. There we go, that'll do there. I also used to do this quite a lot in The Sims, where I would make like fake mountains and fake waterfalls with the rocks that they have in that game. So doing it in this game as well is a little bit tedious. It's kind of like, to forgive the Turfy Potter reference, it's very, I've done my time, 12 years of it. Why don't we do like a little jetty kind of thing? And then like that. Yeah, that's cute. To make it look like they can walk across the rock. I've also definitely in this game done habitats that have so much rock work and so much terrain work, and then I get the animals in and they can't use most of the space because of the pathing, and that's kind of what I want to avoid in this game. Is I'll put loads of plants in if the animals want it, but I don't want to create, like I did a jaguar exhibit once where it was very mountainous and very what's the word? It was a lot of terrain, basically. It was a lot of terrain. And the jaguars would just like make massive leaps and bounds between parts of the enclosure, and that wasn't fun for me. I more recently made a little blue penguin exhibit that was the same kind of thing. I made like an undulating beach and it looked really good, and then it didn't look good once the animals were in. So I think that's another thing I would quite like for the sequel, is to have better animal pathing. Like, the animations are great. They're really cute. They work well for the animals. I'm just gonna do that. But I think the way that they interact with their environment could be done a lot better. And then maybe we get some flat rocks, like one there, and another one there. I have no idea if the keepers can pathfind around this, but I guess we'll find out. Did I make two there? No, I didn't. I think that's a quite nice array there. Looks great. Thank you, Stephen. Let's duplicate and move this. We'll put some bushes there. Nature. Custard apple. That does not sound appealing. Scabiula bush. And we'll put some there. And we'll put one over here. And I might cheat a little bit because this selection doesn't have any reeds. And I would quite like to have some reeds. So, what's this? Caribou moss? No. Any water plants? No, I don't want blueprints. I want filters. I want Foliage type. Subaquatic. Underwater eelgrass. Nice. That'll do. So if we go for like little small ones here and there, it's not going to add too much, but it'll add just a little bit of realism. And take off subaquatic. Plants. I do want to get some of these in. And annoyingly, they don't snap to the top of the water, so we're just going to bring that up manually. That's floating ever so slightly. Awesome. And I think if we just do like a little cluster, maybe over there by the bush, I think that would look quite nice over there. And then whoop. No! I love the music in this game. It's just so nice. Right, I think that's quite nice. Let's check in on our flamingos and see how they're feeling about all these plants. Good coverage. Could do with a little bit more. The plant type is appropriate. This will also tell us if they don't like any other plants that we've put in. Terrain. They need more hard shelter, and they don't have any they have less navigable land area. I have a feeling Zoopedia might have lied to me on how much space they need. This is the wrong animal. That's the peccary. American flamingo. I'm not going to add any more plants. It might be. Why don't we try getting a path in here and seeing how well that does. Okay, so we could theoretically bring this out to... Can I pause, edit barrier? Can I just click and drag this? Ah, I can, but it's not great. So let's add here. And let's bring the length down so we can really fine-tune this. In fact, I don't even want to add it there. I want to add it here, if I can. I thought I paused you. That's not paused. There we go. Okay. And then I'm not happy with that bit there. Sure. That looks better. That does look better. And they can see in, and that's all fine and dandy. And what is the land usage? Terrain. Land area, water area, average water depth is 42 centimetres. Environment, animals, little baby. We've got 4 and 5. And I feel like we could get some plants on that bit. Are you happy yet? Do you have enough land? No. You don't have enough land and you have barely enough water. I was actually considering taking an IRL zoo trip during my upcoming week off. That would be awesome! Which zoo would you be thinking of going to? Dunno, lol. Fair enough. I mean, I've been to a fair few UK zoos. I've got opinions. I'm beginning to think that we maybe don't have a house that they walk through, but I do think we make some scenery pieces here that they can, and so maybe sort of back into the cliff and have like an overhanging house. They need a house. I know they need a house, but the issue that I'm currently coming up against is this is not enough land for the flamingos that I have, and they need 20 in here. Anyway, let's get them a house. Let's get them a shelter. Let's get them a basic 4x4. Maybe we'll... Can I get them a thingy? And put this in this corner. Okay, so you need social. Your habitat's pretty good. Why one house not enough? One house not enough. Okay. I would have thought that was quite a nice hard shelter for them, but I guess I was wrong. In which case, we're going to expand them yet again. And then let's move this. And then we can have... We'll just have a couple of these along the back wall. And then... Yes. Okay. Thing is, I absolutely hate how these look. But I don't have... And maybe I'll come back and I'll make custom ones. But for now, it'll have to do. Oh, they've got food. And we do need to give them enrichment. So let's see what sort of enrichment we can give them. I wish there was a way that you... Oh, I can. Enrichment. Can I... Filter, habitat. Okay, herb scent market and foraging pool. Oh, that's cute. Do we have space for this over here? We don't. Okay, I guess that's going to have to go over here somewhere then. If we put that there for now. And we'll just get some herb scent markers around the place as well. So we'll put like one on this island and one over here. And maybe one over here by the rocks. Okay, now that that's moved, can I shuffle this back? Because I'd quite like it to be along the back wall. Okay, that can go there then. And at least that's semi-private. It's not right by the visitors. Okay, are you happy? You still need more. So, vet research is complete. Yay! Oh, we've almost finished researching the flamingos. That's really good. Does that mean... Oh, yes, it means that we get more enrichment. Oh my goodness. Okay. That is a lot bigger than I was expecting it to be. Maybe we do this, like, there in front of the rocks. That could be quite cute. Oh, it's the wrong way around. Hang on. Do it that way around. It's also making me realise just how hot it is here. Oh, that's cute. And then we've got mechanic research. And we... Ooh, a lot of items from that. That's really good. Cannot be reached. Okay. Okay, the pathing's an issue. Right, okay. Let's pause. I think maybe we move this over here. Or maybe we do two. Maybe we do two. Do it this way around. No? Okay. Nutrition. Okay, let's shuffle all of these down then. The things I'm doing for these flamingos, eh? I never thought that they would be this much trouble. Right. Why is that obstructed? Is it because this guy here... Can I pick you up? No. Okay, let's just hit play and see if he moves out of the way. Okay, it can go there, which is good. So we're going to... Why? Okay. Why? Oh, okay, I can't add multiple gates. Well, that's annoying. I guess we'll just move this bit of rockwork then. And we will shuffle this around and put it here instead. And I still think that looks quite nice. It's too close to the fence. There's a big hitbox of the fence. Okay, that makes sense. Well, that can still go there. And then maybe we'll put some bushes back there. And filters biome is tropical. Can I get my big bushes, please? There they are. Okay, so that should be accessible now. And I actually think that looks better. I'm just going to say it. I think it looks better. They've still not got a huge amount of hard shelter, but I don't really know how to add more unless we just scrap these and get the bigger one. That's still not going to be enough. How much hard shelter do you guys need? Oh, where are you going? Oh, look at the baby. He is 2 apples tall. And he's hiding in a bush. And I love him. It's good to know that they can actually go through these bushes. And it's not like The Sims when you put a dirty plate on the floor. Oh, he's picking up all the poops. What is your terrain? Yeah, you've got too much long grass again. So let's add some soil back in this area. Do 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 do. And then I'll redeem that vet research. But then it might be time to call it there. Is that poo or is that food? I genuinely can't tell. And I can't click on it. I mean, it's quite a nice habitat. Vet research done. And we have done all of the research for the flamingo, which is great. One. Okay. Mechanic is requested on that one. And the mechanic research, level 2 on the South America theme, which means that we can start making things look pretty. Look at this lighting, guys. Oh, I see. I see why there's been a mechanic requested. Huh. Well, sounds like a good time to leave it there. Put some soft bedding on the shelters, that might help. Okay, I'll do that and then we will call it a night. Call it a day, even. Doesn't seem to have helped, but that's okay. It looks comfier for them. Well, we'll deal with the fires next time we play. But this has been really fun. Thank you for joining me, everybody. This has been a really nice morning. I'm super glad that this will be a viable stream game going forward. Because I like Planet Zoo, and I think it would be fun to stream this zoo again going forward. Where's the baby? We'll focus on the baby as we close out for the day. That's a really horrible shot. Let's not look at the baby. Let's look at these guys over here, being all broody and standing at an angle. Right, have a lovely rest of your day, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll be streaming this again soon. I don't know when, but soon. And I'm really excited for it. So, it's been good. We'll get back into this. I'm going to sit down and sort out a schedule going forward for regular days to stream. But until then, I will see you all very soon. And have a wonderful rest of your weekend.